What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here at The Distance. Got a video for you guys. This is a prediction for the upcoming bout between Matthysse and Humberto Soto for about 12 rounds for the WBC Continental Americas Championship. Puts together the contender, Matthysse, against the former WBC Super Featherweight and WBC Lightweight champion, Humberto Soto. And overall, to me, I think it's a good fight. Pretty much, Matthysse come up on the short end of the stick, and a lot of pretty much the two major fights he's been in against Zab Judah and Devin Alexander, November 2010 and June of 2011. And pretty much he's been in a couple fights since, one ending in a 4th round knockout and 6th round stoppage. But just overall, Matthysse is a tough fighter, but his Achilles heel is just the fact that to me, I think is the right hand, the fact that he starts off slow in fights. And on the other hand, you have Humberto Soto, who pretty much, has just been unable to get himself a big fight. He's had some quality victories. He has a victory over Antillon. He has a victory over Jorge Solis. I think his victory over Solis is before Pacquiao fought him. But he does have the loss against Johan Guzman at 130. But he's actually a pretty good fighter. Has a victory over David Diaz. But Soto's a pretty good fighter. I like to see him. I like watching Soto fight because pretty much with Soto, with him, he's one of those guys, as I mentioned in my video with Iran Barkley, is his first response after being hit is the punch back. And he doesn't necessarily clinch all that much. He's always just throwing punches, always doing work, whether it's on the inside or on the outside. He's just always working. He's kind of that he's just like, to me, I think just your quintessential fighter. He likes to fight. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside from time to time. He does have slow feet, but just overall, a lot of the time with Humberto Soto, you get a good fight with him. And he puts up a good fight, with whoever he faces. So I'll start off with Soto. The fact that Matthysse starts off his fights extremely slow will work to Soto's advantage. Being that he has quick hands and he does have a sharp overhand right and a sharp left hook. One thing I could tell you about Matthysse is when he starts extremely slow. So when he starts slow, he has to build up his rhythm throughout the fight. He has to build up his momentum. So with one thing I do notice in Matthysse fights is when he starts off the fight, when he throws his jab, he throws it extremely slow. It's like he can be countered very easily in between that shot, because he lunges forward, the jab, he overextends the jab, and he's just open to an overhand right each and every time, or even a right hook. Any kind of right hand he'll be open to, just because of how slow he can throw his jab. Now as the fight progresses, he makes that adjustment and he covers the shot, covers up and blocks up. But early on in fights, he's open to that. He's very much open to that shot. So I think that early in the fight, I think he has to throw a lot of overhand rights. He has to actually move around the ring, because I think one thing that will matter for Soto, I think the size of the ring might, if it's a bigger ring, I think it might work for him, because he can set up that overhand right and just use the ring to his advantage and set up his overhand right, and which is going to set up his shots on the inside as well, because from time to time Matthysse will cover up and not throw back, or he'll just he won't cover up in time to defend himself from the right or left hook. And Soto throws the hook very well on the inside. And I think that he's going to have to work on the inside in spurts, but he has to work his way, in. And he has to throw, like I said, a lot of overhand rights. I think he has to throw a few rights to the body. But I think that pretty much what could win him this fight is he can outfight Matthysse on the inside. He has to go in. He's going to have to throw a lot of short, quick shots, and just simply outwork Matthysse on the inside. But I think that on the outside, of course, the overhand right is going to be the shot for him. And I think that, that way he can pretty much win the fight. On the other hand, you have Lucas Matthysse. Matthysse, like I said, he starts off slow, but he does well at what he, being somewhat one-dimensional. And being one-dimensional, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because what Matthysse does everything well with how he fights one-dimensional. He kind of brings it, it's like this. A lot of the time he just comes forward off of that jab. He comes forward off the jab. He'll throw short shots, and he'll pretty much just plot in off the front foot. Now Matthysse is good at making fighters throw these pork barrel shots, and he's working his way inside, and he just does well. And when he gets to where he's working his way inside, he'll hit his opponent with a short shot to the body. He'll hit his opponent with an overhand right. He'll find his way inside and hit him with a right on the inside, or use his jab to set up his attack on the inside. He makes fighters fight off the back foot, and in this fight he's gonna have to make Soto fight off the back foot, because Soto doesn't fight all that well off the back foot. He fights well plotting forward, and he's very flat-footed. So I think that could work to Mathisse's advantage. And also, another thing with Soto is Soto's defense can be very, I guess you could say his defense can be just very bad from time to time. Like, he won't bring his hands back in time, and he can, or when he throws his jab, or if he throws his shots, he can admire his work. And I think that Matthysse can get him with a few overhand rights, and kind of I wouldn't even advise Matthysse to stand close with Soto. I think he's just gonna have to go, and has to find the ways to just hit him with power shots from a mid range and from the outside, and just look to fight behind his jab, fight behind the jab, fight off the front foot, and actually cut off the ring, and look to and actually himself look to not get into a fight with Soto. Look to just land hard shots on the outside, and look to try to hurt Soto. I think that when fighters when they set up the knockout, I think in this one he'll have to set up the knockout. I think that he has to go to the body early in this fight. Matthysse has to start a lot faster against Soto. I think that working the body is going to work, because when he works the body against Soto, it's going to set and Soto's punches lose steam in the later rounds. So what that will do is it will set Soto up for the knockout later on, and it's going to lead to openings for Matthysse to go in and just take him out. So who I think is going to win this fight? With all that said, I like Humberto Soto. I like watching him fight. I think that he does possess a style that can be trouble for Matthysse, being that Matthysse plods forward and he has some defensive liabilities on the inside. He can be hit, but he does have a tough chin, and he continues coming. He continues to come forward, and and also Matthysse, he hits hard, and those punches become harder in the later rounds when he finds his rhythm. And I think Matthysse comes in and wins this fight by a decision. So I'm going with Lucas Matthysse decision in this fight. So anyway, peeps, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.